everybody. So, this is my mess of a bookcase, and I figured because I have nothing better to do today, well, actually here, I'm just procrastinating on my tracker, for my writing, but I don't really have to do it, but I want to do it, so yeah. I don't know if that doesn't belong there. I know I did not explain this video whatsoever. So yeah, this is going to be my favorite book kind of a video. So it's kind of self-explanatory that I'm going to be talking about books that are my favorite books. So yeah. First. What got on there? First favorite book. Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. It is an amazing book. Obviously my copy has been kind of well loved. Lots of wet papers. Had this book since before 7th grade started. So 2 years. And this book, I always like to say that it changed my life because it kind of made me think of things in a different way. And yeah, this book is an adult book. She does not write books that are young adults. This is an adult book. 100% fully. Like, young adult books, I started reading them when I was like 10. I know some people, but I think like 10, a lot of people start reading young adult books. I read this when I was 12, and it's debatable that it's too old for me. My mom let me read it. But yeah, there's definitely some sexual content to kind of a large extent in here, actually. Yeah. Actually, within like the first 40 pages, there's already stuff. So yeah. But it's a really good book, so I suggest you younger than like 13, have your mom read this book before you, if you want to read it. Because, yeah. Or you can go to your library and get it. I don't really know. I don't care. I'm not your parent. Just think of what your parents are going to do. But yeah, this is an awesome book. Very sad though. That's another way. It has me like falling in the middle of math class in second period in 7th grade. There we go. There you go. Okay. Number 2. It's actually technically 2 and 3, but I'm putting them together because it's really more like a series. You can read them separately. It doesn't matter what order you read them in or anything. It just makes more sense if you read them in the order Nefertiti and The Heretic Queen, both by Michelle Moran. Hold this right. Yeah. This one, I read these in 8th grade or something like that, and I really want to reread them because they were really good, and I really, really liked them. And I've always had kind of a fascination with ancient Egypt and pharaohs and everything. And, yes, this is a really, really good historical fiction novel. Like, even if you're not a big person on historical fiction, I think it could be enjoyable. And then this one is actually a little bit older. And that one not like publishing age-wise, but just like the age that you should read this, because this one has inappropriate things in it that I'm really glad I read it first before my mom, or else I would not have ever been able to finish this book. But yeah, there's some extremely awkward parts. Not writing-wise, her writing style is amazing, and it's like so interesting. And it's always nice because you give you like a calendar for ancient Egypt and a glossary for like you're gonna see things in there that you have no clue what they mean, and so you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go back to the glossary and say, you know, you saw alabaster and you don't know what alabaster means. Do back to the glossary, go back to page 375, and it's like, oh, it's a hard white marble-like mineral mined in Alabastron, a village in Egypt. So that, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and it actually has that in here too. And it might have a Thursday guide. And that. And it's got the family tree of the Egyptian dynasty, because that makes it so much more interesting. Okay, so I'll try to link all the books that I put or that I show down in the bottom bar, which means I need to keep them all. Number 4, The Book Thief. I read this over the summer. Obviously, is most of you know. I don't know actually how it's anyway. The Book Thief, and it is a really, really good book. Depressing, but it's so good. Like, honestly, it is an awesome book. Well written, powerful, like, all the characteristics that I put into a good book, at least 90% of them are in there. Just saying. Yeah. This book was so strange reading it. I tried to read it in 6th grade. I never got to finish it. Got it before I started 8th grade when I went to France. I think. And it's that, House of the Scorpion. This is such a weird book, but it is really pretty good too. It deals with like cloning and all this weird stuff, and it's one of those things where it's kind of a controversial topic for a book to be on, but it like enhances the book, having it being, and I mean the author isn't putting like size in it, so you're not like, it's not fully out there if she's working against cloning, because it's a fictional novel, so, you know, that's me bothering me inside. I'm sorry for the lot. Where do I go? The Hunger Games trilogy. Honestly, I think this is just about everybody's like favorite book if you've read it, because it is freaking amazing. My copy is still in really good condition. So being a paperback and going to school with me every day for like a month in a backpack with a black hole. We got a little tear back there, and I didn't do that. That was my friend who made that little rip. That went into her. Yeah, and the spine is hardly broken. It's not really broken at all. So yeah, it is amazing. I'm sure most of you read it, so you know. If you haven't, go pick it up. They're making it a movie next year. I think summer next year it comes out, so that's exciting. Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of when people make books into movies, but I'm crossing my fingers. The Hunger Games is good. And a funny story. I'm going to talk really fast, because I have like 4 minutes left. I still haven't finished the entire series. I am like not even halfway through Catching Fire at this point. I read that in 8th grade. I'm starting 9th grade now. You can wait. You're that slow of a reader. No, I'm not. 8th grade. Started off, I'm like, I'm going to read the entire Hunger Games trilogy this year. I'm going to be awesome. And I'm going to read and read and read, and I'm going to be like, hey, I did homework, and when I wasn't doing homework, I was writing. And when I wasn't writing, I was eating, and when I wasn't eating, I was sleeping. And then when I wasn't sleeping, I was going to school, or I was shopping. If it was the weekend, I didn't read enough at all, which sucks. I will come right up and fix. I have both Catching Fire and the Hunger Games, or not the Hunger Games, sorry, Mockingjay. But Mockingjay, I still haven't read, obviously. I have to keep copies of that. And I'm almost halfway through Catching Fire, but the reason that I'm not done with it or anything is because I went to see my friend, like, all through 8th grade, because she just finished Hunger Games and she kept bugging me and I didn't have any time to read it. So I'm like, fine, check it. And then I finished what I was doing and I'm like, I'm going back and she's like, I'm reading it still. And I'm like, you're still on chapter 1, oh my god. So yeah, I'm going to make this a 2-parter. So I will see you in part 2.